Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Love Loud's Truth Carpet. I am your bestie, Yaskis, with my bestie.
Monie, period.
Yes, we're here with another episode. I'm so excited for this episode. Just because I like to be on the mic and, come on every other Friday.
On the mic with no mic, but we hear you.
I mean, yeah, because you can hear me. That's what I mean. Well, anyway, let's do our check-in. How you feeling? How you doing? How you doing?
I'm tired, to be honest. I am tired. It's been a busy week. I have been putting in some long hours at work and outside of work. So it's just been a long week. But I
It's
feel
been a
good.
a
Ass week.
long week for Moni.
Long ass week. But I feel good. I feel good this week. I actually went to an open mic. I wasn't initially going to go because I'm like, this is a long week for me. So I was going to cancel initially, but I was like, no, I feel like I said I was going to do it and I wanted to start doing more open mics, even though granted, going during the week, I was like, I need
That's
to
what I was
do
gonna say.
events. But I was like, once I was there and I was in the vibe, I was like, it was meant for me to be here. It was meant for me to come out, listen to other artists, hear the stories that they were telling, their style of poetry and how they were telling their stories. It was so beautiful, so unique. I got inspired.
Unique.
I was like, yes. Oh my gosh. I am so inspired. It was really good. I was glad I got invited to come out and spit my poetry. So it was very nice. So like with all that to say is just I'm just glad that despite how I felt, I still kept my commitment, and because I kept that commitment, I was able to you know meet new creatives, do a little bit of networking, embrace the art of others, and also share my art and also practice my craft because I've been trying to perform more because I don't do it as often as I used to. So it felt really good to do that, and also to get the feedback of knowing that like, I you are so dope, you're a great storyteller, I love how you flow. Like same thing that we do here on Sweet 223 when people come on and they share their art and their style, and we gas them up. Like it feels good as an artist to know that people resonate with what the stories that you're telling. But aside from that, the way that you do it, because somebody
Yeah.
else can tell the same poem of the same story that I'm telling, but it's the way that you're telling the story that makes a difference in regards to your style and your cadence and all of that. So it was really nice. It was really nice. So I think sometimes I take my I try to use my tiredness as an excuse, but I feel like if it's something that I really want to do, or for anybody, if it's something that we really want to do and we're invested in it, I think that that tiredness can turn into adrenaline, and it can definitely
Yeah.
push us towards really being in that element of what we really want to do. So I plan to do it more. I want to try at least once a week. And just really get into the vibe again. Like I really love performing and I miss being on stage often. So baby steps, just
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. I'm thinking of the word tired and tried. I'm like, yo, it has the same letters. But anywho, it's not been a try. It's a we haven't been. And that's like last year we talked about it at the top of the year. Oh, we should go do open mics. We should do this, we should do that, and we have not. And this year, you and I both have experienced going to the open mics. And it's the same thing with me. Like it really sucks that a lot of the events are during the week and some of the events are not close by. But the experience that I have had thus far of going to the events in Brooklyn, different cities in Jersey, meeting different people, like you said, same thing, networking, getting on stage, practicing, getting feedback from people, connecting, being asked to come to events like that feels so good. Like, oh, quick, can you come to this event? It's like you liked me enough to ask me to come to your event, or even getting somebody to follow you. Like, oh, on social media, follow me on social media.
Right now,
Um, yeah, not home. Like having more followers and things like that. Oh, like so when I did say my handle on stage, it wasn't like, no one was listening, but because I only follow people's names who I like their performance. So I assume the same thing. Like something about me led you to type in my name and follow me even after the events, because sometimes they don't have service or the service is bad. But yeah, same thing. It's a good feeling. So congratulations to you for pushing through and still going to that event and going to work the next day, because that is tough. It definitely is tough.
Oh,
And
it's
I will tell myself too, because it was funny. I was texting you like, give yourself a bedtime. I'll give myself a bedtime, but then I'm there and I'm in the moment and I'm experiencing it. And it's like, dang, I don't want to leave because I don't want to miss an incredible poet, or like different people have different experiences. Like you said, it's the same story, maybe. We're all talking about B2K and how much we love B2K, but your perspective of how you talk about it, your cadence of how you deliver it is different. So, I like everything that you're saying. I resonated wholeheartedly.
yeah, it was nice. Um, Dang, I forgot I was gonna say. See, that's how tired I am. Oh my god, I
You
literally
blacked out.
drew a blank. I had a whole thought that I was gonna add on after what you said, and my brain said, "No, you don't. Sleep."
Speaking of sleep,
Girl, it'll probably come back to me. Oh, I know what I was going to say now. So I was thinking in regards to I miss having the flexibility that I used to have. I'll call it my 2020 flexibility because of my schedule. That was the best schedule I ever had is in regards to when I got up, I was able to go to the gym, make my
I
breakfast,
wish.
um go to work. I had a break in between before going to my second job, and then I was done within enough time and not feel too tired to go back, do love live stuff, edit the podcast. I think just the timing and spacing of what I had, granted I had two jobs, but I think I just like how my day was spaced out with work. I get a little break, I work again, I get a little break. um so I was like, if I didn't have to get up so early, I think I wouldn't be as I think I would be more receptive to going to more events during the week. But I'm like, starting out with one is fine. Just finding out one that works best with my schedule because whew, during the week, some weeks be tough.
Yeah,
I understand like renting out a venue for at certain spaces, the weekend could get more expensive. So, but yeah, I really do miss my 2020 schedule, my flexibility that I had. It was so nice. I felt like I was able to squeeze in so much. I was waking up in the morning, I was meditating, I was reading. Um it was just space for so many things that I really enjoyed doing, and I got
mm,
into a rhythm for it. I mean, I'm starting getting back into a rhythm now. I find myself like I'm still taking my French lessons. I'm getting more into reading daily. I've been reading the same book since November, but I got about two chapters left, so I'm making progress, but I've started reading more often. So I'm like,
mm,
I'm just finding more ways to feed into what I love, and it's been working out. It's been working out. It has been making me happy. So like, let me just keep finding the time and really being in tune with how I truly feel. So like, if I get to a point, if I get to the event and I feel like I'm here, but I still don't, I probably will go home at that point. But usually that's not what the vibe gives. It gives like you're meant to be here, you're in this space, be in the space, feel the vibes.
yeah. I never had a schedule like that that was so flexible, but the I guess it was 2020. That was for me. It was being able to work from home. So even though I'm working from home, I would take little breaks to do other things, and then too when being at work around other coworkers, they pull your energy. They're wanting stuff. They're asking you things, and it just feels like the day being at work is more draining than it was working from home. But then there's odds to that too. Like working from home is like, oh, I feel that FOMO of like, am I doing the right thing? Am I using my time productively? But I feel the same thing as what you're delivering is I will have possibly, we never know how it will be, but possibly have more energy or more oomph to go to more events. But I also feel like, kind of what we're going to talk about with Cheyenne is when you invest in those things and you really want those things, you put it into your schedule. So if going to events once a week is your thing, you divvy it up however you want to divvy it up, and you find that energy to have it. You conserve it on another time to put into it because it's something you're passionate about. So the same thing that you're finding time for Love Loud or um, I don't know, whatever else that you have playing, tap dancing or whatever it may be, you'll find that energy, and then it'll become your rhythm and flow of life. It's going to be once a goal that we talked about in December or January, and then it's now we're in August, whatever month, we listen back to this and like, oh, I remember that this was something that we talked about. Now it's like, I was too tired for this. No, this is my regular kind of thing. Or I am tired, but it's my outpour. It's my coping. It's something that I look forward to doing every week.
Yeah, absolutely. So, cheers to pushing through.
Yes. So I didn't say how I was feeling, but I feel like we spent a lot of time on the check-in. So let's move on to, what's
We
the
did not
rundown?
say how you were feeling. We can say how you feeling. You don't want to say how you feel. You gonna skip over yourself?
Yeah, I'm gonna skip over
Blue
myself.
shoes.
Let's go. Let's do the rundown.
All right. Well, Yaya said she don't want to talk about herself. Let's go ahead and over into the rundown. In this here episode on season 5, episode 4, we are going to be heading into our icebreaker with our oracle cards. If you have been in past seasons with us, then you know when we get into the oracle cards we pull, there is something that we resonate with and we talk about it and how it relates to us. And then heading on over into Suite 223, we have a very bomb poet by the name of Qxeen Smallz who is going to spit for us some fire poetry. So make sure you tune in for that because you are in for a damn treat, okay? And great conversation. Then heading on over into the calf, we have a CAU family coming into the calf. Miss Shyanne Valentine with her brand, Happy Vibes brand. We have great conversation about wellness and mental health and her brand overall and where she's going as an entrepreneur. Make sure you tune in for that because that is also great conversation. You do not want to miss out on it. This whole episode is about to be fire because then in the dorm stories, Yaya and I are going to be sharing one of our favorite childhood memories. So see if one of our childhood memories is one that you had as a child and then let us know, in the comments if you can relate to that. And then, of course, if you stay tuned to the end in the community news segment where you get the announcements, there's always a little something for everybody. So make sure you are all the way tuned in. Period. Yeah. How was it?
Yes. Okay, I'm excited for this podcast episode, so let's get into it.
Boom.
Okay, so now we're in our icebreaker segment where Moni and I play a game, do something to break some ice. We all grown listening to this podcast. We know what an icebreaker is. So if you've listened to us before this season, you are familiar with this. The universe has your back deck. It is 52 card deck that Moni and I both have. It's created by Gabrielle Bernstein, and we're both going to pull one card and then share how it resonates with us. So, go ahead, Moni. You can start.
Bada bing, bada boom. I'm going to
I
go
was
ahead.
trying to look at the card, like the description, and see if she actually says it's the Oracle card deck or what, but it just says 52 card deck offers spiritual guidance to help you find strength when you are down, synchronicity. I'm bad with the words tonight, and support you when you are lost. There's more to that, but I'm not about to read the whole thing. If you want the deck, I got it off of Amazon, so get you one too.
All right. I shuffled. I'm going to pull one off the top. And the one that I pull says, in any moment, I can surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer. Oh my goodness, through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. Yes, yes, that is very true. I think in this present moment in my life, um, I definitely find myself surrendering more to love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. I find myself being stillness a lot more than I used to be. I sit and think more before I speak or do things. I find myself making sure that I am sure of certain things before I do them. Just making sure that I sit with myself. Um, and contemplate, as the card said. Like it's more so not my anxious thoughts but
Mm-hmm.
more so just my present thoughts and making sure that I'm making the right decision in regards to what I want to do. Because I've definitely been on the road to my next move being my best move and not just doing anything just because. So I'm
Mm,
making sure that I am very present in what I do, strategic in what I do, aligned with what I do, in love with what I do. I don't want to do just anything because it's there for me to do it. It's there for me to grab it and it's right there. I want to make sure that it's meant for me. The door that is open is meant for me to walk through.
mm,
The door that is closed is meant for me to turn in the other direction. So just sitting in stillness and making sure that I understand why things are the way that they are, whether it seems good to me or bad to me. I've definitely come to understand that, or I've come to understand more that what's meant for me will always be meant for me, and what's not meant for me, it was never meant for me to begin with. So even
yeah.
though I may feel like that was supposed to be my opportunity, that was supposed to be my chance, that was supposed to be for somebody else. And I've become very mindful of how I speak to myself and the things that I put out into the world, because I've also come to find the things that I speak, they come into reality. And if it's something negative, boom, it's right there in my face. Like, I didn't mean it like that. You got to be mindful of your words. You weren't specific.
Yeah.
And just being more in tune with my intuition and my surroundings, just loving on myself, making sure that I'm sure in things that I want to do, putting myself first, and just realizing that the life that I'm living, this is the only life that I have, and I want to make sure that I'm living it to its fullest potential. I don't want to leave anything to chance, and I want to make sure that I'm having my life more filled with my happiness more than with the regrets of me wishing that I shoulda, coulda, woulda did something else. Um, and standing firm in what I believe and what I want to do. So yes, in any moment I can surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. I stand in my stillness.
Yes. I was about to say thank you for sharing that, but I mean you did share. That wasn't your quote, but you shared your connection to that card.
Yes.
Okay. I feel like I need to put on some lipstick.
Girl, get out of the camera and record. What is? I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all did not have to be.
For the people that's watching, my lips feel a little crusty.
They did not deserve to be subjected to your ashy lips.
Not Ashy. Don't be like Portia from
Ashy,
Housewives.
crusty, dry,
Bye,
unmoist.
Ashy. Bye, Ashy. All right. So the card that I pulled resonates with me because I like the colors. It's like a pink little sorbet color. But anyway, I didn't read it, so I'm reading
That
it
pink
for the
what?
first. The colors
Pink
like
sorbet?
pink and the sorbet color. So
Sorbet?
cute. Yeah, this sherbet and sorbet, two different things. But anyway, let's get into me and not focus on you trying to clown me.
Y'all
All
know
right, so
sorbet.
I'm going to read this card out loud for the first time. Okay, it says, "The moment I embrace my peace within and surrender the outcome is the moment that the universe can truly get to work." Okay, let me read this again because there's some like splattered paint and I thought it was a period. So the way that I read that was choppy. All right. The moment I embrace my peace within and surrender. Jesus, one more time.
I'm not gonna say it this time.
Okay.
I tried to hold it back, but I couldn't. Okay, come on.
The moment I embrace my peace within and surrender the outcome is the moment that the universe can truly get to work. This is crazy because it just feels like it's connecting with what we talked about in the check-in. It's connecting with what we're going to talk about with Cheyenne. Just always, it connects. I think it was episode 1. If I'm wrong, please forgive me, but I know we mentioned it on the podcast where I shared that I feel like I've been a broken record and I've been repeating over and over the goals that I have for myself, wanting to move here, wanting to study this, wanting to go for that, wanting to learn this. And it's like, for how many years am I going to keep repeating that? And I get so focused and looking towards the future and getting scared of those things because what if I fail that test? What if I don't do well when I'm on my own? What if I fall and bust my butt and then can't skate any, like all these things is like the what ifs are scaring me and retracting me from going towards that goal that I have for myself. But if I put my hands up and surrender all to the universe, just be like Pocahontas and go with the wind and just do the damn thing. Like, just take the test. If I fail, take it again. Go out and, fly out the nest. And if I fall, I thank God I have a tribe that's going to come and support me in that fall. Not everybody has that. But, once you fall, you get back up again, like Donnie McClurkin said. Like, I'm going to be okay. And I have to embrace the peace and not let that rattle tat tat noise in my head that's saying you can't, or what if, or like how am I gonna know I can unless I go for it? I have to like quiet that and find the peace within in order for me to embark on my journey. So that's what I see and hear from this card, and get to work. That's the last part. Once I silence all that and put my hands up and surrender, I will truly be able to get to work and do the things that I want for myself. So thank you, universe, for this card. Mommy has to sneeze, so I'm gonna
No,
sing y'all a song.
it's, it's not coming out, and I was trying to keep from doing. I tried to turn my mic off, it didn't come out, and I turned it. Lord, I need the sneeze to come out. Anywho, y'all probably saw me go somewhere weird with my nose.
Girl, I
How
just saw
y'all?
the camera flash and I'm like, what's going on? Maybe she's changing her lighting.
Oh, I don't know what that was, but my nose. Okay, we gonna get through this. We gonna get through this. These allergies is allergying for real.
Okay. So speaking of getting through this, let's just move on to our next segment. Thanks for listening to what we had to share regarding the oracle cards that we pulled, and we are now going to head over to Suite 223.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we are now in our Suite 223 segment with a special guest poet who goes by the name of Qxeen Smallz. So before we get into talking with her, getting to know who she is, we're going to let her start off with a special piece with us. Whenever you're ready.
All right. So the piece I'm going to share today is called Beauty and Distortion. I constantly punish my body. I know they say gluttony is a sin, but this is the bliss that I choose to indulge in. This is my fix. Consuming all of which does my body so poorly. Abandoning all the healthy habits of years past that were set before me. It's no wonder that my back and my knees can barely support me. I scold my partner for their choice of tobacco prophylactics and why come when they make store runs that bottles of water don't always make it to the basket, but it's just my deflection. Just my distraction from the way I relate to my plate so they don't notice it's not the food, it's the comfort that I really crave. So they don't notice the way my intake affects the way I behave and how I'm not disciplined enough to do the work to make this feeling go away. And I'm not looking to be saved. I'm looking to realign my thinking and reemerge from this hole in which I've been sinking because I know my stress reliever shouldn't be eating. Just as the feeling feeds my insecurities and consumes me wholly. Whole time the world watches me bask in all of my full-figured glory, not knowing the other side to the story, the ugly side of my mornings. When I wake up sad and disappointed in my mirror, analyzing the body that stands before me. The dents and dips, the lines that trace my stomach and my hips. And I do nothing to change it except cry about how tired I am of this until I sit at my vanity and beat this face that is. Illuminize these cheeks and with the finest gloss I paint these lips until I put on my pretty bra that accentuates these tits, the fancy panties that lift this ass and accentuate these hips. I clutch my rose quartz and I inhale my incense. And I walk out that front door where my head held high saying I'm that bitch. And I wake up the next morning and I do it all over again. That's my kind of toxic. Poem.
Ooh, yes, Queen
Wait, I can't
Smallz.
tell if I'm
Yes.
unmuted.
Bringing that fire to Sweet 223, honey. I love it.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I
you.
can honestly say, like, as I was listening, all I could think about is how I was looking at myself earlier in the mirror today, like how I need to get to the gym, the parts of me that I wish would just disappear. But
Listen,
I gotta work to it. But I also love to eat. So I'm just kind of like, whatever this body's give is what it's gonna give, and I'm gonna feel good when I walk out the door.
Amen. Amen. And I mean, it's beautiful that we can find relation in those things and talk about it and not feel so shamed. And
Mhm.
I feel like society has come a long way from us being able to even find that space. But we just, it's messed up because we're just so hard on ourselves,
Mhm.
and I named it the beauty and distortion because I often find myself struggling to see myself, as the way that the rest of the world may perceive me. It's like having this cast over my eyes, like this lens, and that's something that I fight really hard through. And some days are, better than others. But, I just find that it's important to at least acknowledge, some of those things that we may be finding that are kind of holding us back from flourishing the way that we need to, so that we can break free from that mindset.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm hoping Yaya, because she disappears sometimes. But as y'all know, she might be here, she might be there, but soon she'll be back because I know she would love to speak on this. So I'm hope she pops back in within enough time. Those Wi-Fi sponsorships, anybody that wants to help us out, something that's a little better.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I do want to touch on the fact that I think sometimes as women, we are a little harder on ourselves than we intend to be, especially when it comes
Yeah.
to our bodies. Like whether it's I want something a little smaller, I want to be a little more curvy. I wish I had less breasts, more butt. Like I want to tuck this
Hmm.
in. I want to, but I think it also comes with just the mindset of how you were saying, like being able to value who we are, and just being able to love every piece of yourself. We are gonna have some of those days where you might be, a little more bloated than you was yesterday. So now you're looking at
Right.
what is going on. I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel beautiful today, and to have those days, it's okay. There are gonna be days where we just feel like I don't feel like me. you know
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's just being conscious of the fact that when we don't feel like ourselves how we want to feel, just to make sure that we're being gentle with ourselves and giving ourselves that grace,
Yes.
allowing ourselves to um just to continue to grow and just love who we are. But ain't nothing wrong with going to the gym, you know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
making ourselves
Absolutely.
better,
But
making
like, but
ourselves healthy.
hmm But yeah, that like you said, being kind to ourselves, granting ourselves that grace, like that's so eminently important. Just yeah, I can't stress that enough. So
So let's jump into who you are, Qxeen Smallz, as a poet. Let's talk a little bit about your process, how you come up with your art, your artistic outlets, things of that nature.
yeah, so for me, it really comes into digging within myself. Um, Everything that I write is personal to me, and it's a cleansing in a sense. I've always had an affinity for expression. I've always loved words. I've always kind of gravitated to the scholastic. I've always been a reader and a writer. But poetry, like I said, that's always been sort of a deeper layer for me. It's a way to really exercise those demons, those things that we hold inside that can almost like eat us alive if we allow it.
Mm.
And poetry has become an outlet for me to shed a lot of that old dead skin, sort of a rebirth for me every time that I share a piece. And it took me a long time to get to a point in sharing things out loud and on stages and things like that. But again, for me, it's always been just a bearing of all.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
but my process, solitude. I'm a really reflective person, and I spend a lot of time, sometimes too much time, in my own mind. But that's where I really get to sit and reflect and dig and just let things pour out.
Yes, absolutely. I think there's beauty in you sharing your art, being able to reflect, but at the same time, having people listen to your art and allowing them to reflect as well, and allowing that art to be relatable. Because as an artist, sometimes you might be a little nervous to share that art. You don't know when is the right time. There never is a right time. It's just when you're
Hmm.
comfortable. So, how did you build that confidence and truly like where you're like, I'm ready to share my art with the world?
For me, it really came from a place of just not wanting to hold on to things anymore.
Mm.
I felt like I needed the release, and I also had to reflect on just who I am, like really remembering who I am, and me being a product of my mother and father, and them being both highly intuitive, highly expressive people. My father himself was a writer, and I had this thought, and I'm just like, why are you in the shadows? You know, like you deserve to be heard just like anybody else, and it doesn't always have to sound, pretty. It doesn't always have to have a bow on it, but it doesn't make, your journey or your testimony any less important, simply because on your bad days you may not be able to tap into that self-worth. So for me, yeah, it was really just saying to myself, like, like, why are you hiding? Why do you feel like you can't? And like I said, when I did it, it was something that really did help me in a sense. It felt really good to do. And in turn, you may encounter others who have shared experiences, and you're able to kind of talk through those things and offer that support. Like, hey, it's not just you. You're not by yourself. Um, but yeah, just finding that value in my own voice is really what pushed me to finally say, like, you know what, I'm going to do it.
Yes, absolutely. It feels like it's a form of therapy. Like even as
Hmm.
somebody, as an audience member, when I'm not performing and I'm sitting and I'm listening to people express themselves in a vulnerable way, whether it's sharing their stories, even doing it in a comedic type of way. It's just being able to give that release, but allowing other people to feel that vibe that you're giving them, and allowing them
Exactly.
to feel different or think different than how they were when they first walked into that space, and just having that new mindset, that new outlook on life, before they
Hmm.
even, heard the words that they heard on that stage. So I appreciate you finally having that confidence to share
Thank
your art
you.
with the world. Um, I also want to know though, like as far as an artist, when did you first fall in love with poetry, and how long have you been writing?
Oh man, so I've been writing since I want to say eighth, ninth grade.
Mm.
Um, that's when I started writing, like actually writing poetry, and I would have to say, like, I really think I really fell in love with it. Well, I want to say it was like my maybe like my freshman sophomore year of high school. Um, I remember Jill Scott came out with her poetry book, and I remember how excited I was, like running to Borders to buy it.
Oh my God, Borders, you're taking me
Yes,
back.
yeah, right, yeah, yeah, that
Yes,
nostalgia.
Borders.
Yeah, and that was like that was a really big like thing for me. But even before that, to be honest, I I think it really starts with music for me.
Mm.
Um, I think it really starts with music for me, and that's been a lifelong love affair right there, me with music. So yeah, I like I said, just the words, the emoting, all of that. I think that's just always been in my blood, like just always. But going back to even just being a music listener.
Yes, absolutely. I love that you're able to connect it when you fell in love with it to a memory, like remembering that Jill Scott had that running to the bookstore to go get that, like that core
Yeah.
memory that's within you, that's really diving deep into who you are as an artist. Like I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure that that freshman young girl is so proud of you right now and what you are able to accomplish right now as an artist. Like sometimes I have to think back to young me and what I wanted to
Mhm.
accomplish and what I'm able to do right now. Like what would she think of me right now? If I were able to go back and they'd be able to tell her this is what you're going to be doing at this amount of time, would I believe me? Like, would I believe my
Mhm.
greatness of who I'm going to be in the future? You know. So I think
Yeah.
just honing in on that and being able to pull from our past, and who we were at that time. But I love that memory. And when I say you took me back to Borders, I used to run to Borders, sit in there all the time, reading all
Yes.
kind of books. That's
Yes. But what you said about your younger self, that resonated with me too, because I'll tell you, even when I had my very first poetry feature, and I took my old books and I had them up on that stage with me. I didn't share anything from them, but that was my way of saying, like, and I share this with everybody too. Like this is for that girl who didn't think that she ever would be able to find space or find it within herself to share all of these things. And I had them right up there with me, just as an homage to that younger me. So yeah, for sure.
More question, because I know you wanted to go into a second piece. I wanted to get into your name, Qxeen Smallz. How did you come up with that name for yourself?
So it actually it stems from a nickname. My partner Gary the storyteller. Gary always calls me Small World Smalls. That's been like a long standing nickname, and so like kind of me coming into these spaces always refer to me as Smalls. And so another poet, phenomenal young lady, she does philanthropy. She works with children. She's really into like hip hop. Her name is Fox, and Fox had like presented me with this accolade at one of her events, and on my award it's at Qxeen Smallz, and I was like, that's it. So that's where that name came from. Like I said, from two people I really admire both artistically and personally. That's how that name came about.
Yes, beautiful. I love that. I love hearing the story of the name, the journey, how it came about. Everybody has something so unique about how they got their nickname, whether it was a family name or something
Hmm.
you had written, or just a creative way how you came with something that connected to you. So I love that. That's really really dope. But you also spell it with the X. How did the X come about?
So the X is in there because I do identify as she and they. Um, I absolutely have my moments where I have more of my masculine centered energy, and that resonates within and comes out. It's not always so much as me being masculine presenting on the outside, but just that again, that flow of energy, that identifying with that yin and the yang. I'm a very multifaceted person, so that was what made me put the X in there.
Yeah, see, and had I not asked, we would have never known. I love
Right.
that. I love, as I said, it's unique and it's connected to you in a very special way. I really, really how you identify Qxeen Smallz. Period.
Like I'm always about being transparent, in my art and how I communicate. But I'm now sort of going more into a space of like really being naked, and like there's a difference there because we can speak about the emotions and how we're feeling, and put it into words with all of these beautiful adjectives and things like that. But to really delve beneath the surface as to the why, that's something that I have still been working on, because again, it's that level of exposure. So that's one of those pieces that fits into that realm of me kind of taking a deeper dive and really confronting a lot of the things that sometimes can feel too ugly to even put into words. So, so I thank y'all for like really receiving that. I really do appreciate that. So yeah, I'll go into my second piece. And again, it's all within that same theme again of just that confronting and that deeper dive. So again, this piece isn't too long either. This one is called Accountability. I searched for belonging in those without homes to call their own, seeking love in spaces filled with self-hatred when the warm embrace of broken felt most safe. At the peak of my loss and self-sabotage, I canvassed shelves of old books with empty faded pages just to rip them out, collected pieces of their trauma bound by hardbacks with the threat of neglect that made them easy to discard and too battered to accept. There, written in blood, was every prayer that was too ugly to shout. And so can somebody tell me why I thought it wise to seek answers from soundboards of rehearsed inspirational sentiments, where the incorrect equations marked in red made the lack of self-development so evident? Maybe it was my willful ignorance, paying my tithes of karmic debt by trying to fix the very people who were the source of my sadness. That's not how you get blessed. But in chicken soup for the wounded soul is the perfect recipe for heartbreak and stress. So, yes, I had to swallow my pride and realize that every course of my pain was not force fed, Gorging on self victimization is what kept me craving those sweet chips of toxic lead. And so for now, I'm cleansing my palate of the sourness I chose to ingest before my taste for freedom was what my tongue led with. Poem.
Wow, that was deep. That was
Thank
deep.
you.
It
Thank you.
took you to another realm with that one. I was like,
Thank you.
man, like that was. Hold on a second. Let me.
It's okay. I again, I as much as I've been through in my life, like I said, I also have to sit and kind of take inventory, reflecting on things that, I might have had a hand in. And that just all comes with growth. And that's how we overcome. We don't stay stagnant. We don't stay on that hamster wheel, of those poor decisions or maybe that, outdated way of thinking or whatever it is, we evolve. And so, in order to truly do that, we have to own up to where we may have fallen short and recognize those growth opportunities and learn from them. So, um, that's where that piece came from, and that again is just me, just being more naked. So, thank you.
I love that you keep saying that as far as like being naked, like bearing it all, being vulnerable. Like, I just love the way that you're saying it though, as far as like being naked, like just basically exposing yourself, your flaws. Um, but like truly like embracing who you are. This is who I am. This is all me. This is what I've
Hmm.
been through. This is the story that I'm telling. And I'm doing it without apology. Like it is what it is. This is my life. And if you connect to it, or maybe just to change your perspective of how you think, and like how I was saying earlier, like even
Hmm.
just that piece alone, it had me pause for a second and like recalibrate my own thinking. Like, damn, like it altered the way that I was even processing while you were reading, processing my own thoughts and my own growth and my own past and things that I'm growing from.
Hmm.
As a person. So it's just like that was incredible, and I appreciate you sharing that piece and remaining vulnerable and naked, and sharing your art. That was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. That really means a lot. Thank you.
I'm scared
Yeah.
to comment because my service is so bad.
I was about to say,
Okay.
Yaya, you want to say something? We could see you. I was
Yeah, no,
waiting for
you're
you.
good. We can hear you and see you.
I'm like
Yeah.
a Casper, right? Like I'm a ghost. But yeah, I'm in awe of your art too, from what I was able to hear because my Wi-Fi sucks. The nakedness is definitely there, being transparent with the audience about things that you've experienced and everything. I'm just like, I want to hear more. Like, do you have a book that I can read? Like, when you come out with the book, I will definitely support. If you haven't already, I love your art, and I'm glad that Nadir recommended you to be on our podcast with us. This is definitely a gift.
Thank you, thank you. And I don't have a book yet. That is something that's in the works. So yes, we are speaking that into existence. That's
Yes.
definitely thing.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and
We could be running to get that book like you was running to go get your Scots from Borders. I'm trying to run, which is Qxeen Smallz. You feel me?
Yeah.
don't guess me. No, I'm playing.
That's what we do. We
I
keep it. I'm
appreciate
gonna
that
mess you up
though.
all day.
So, thank you. And yes, shout out to Nadir. And me and Nadir, we go way back to high school, as a matter of fact. We both attended Upward Bound at Temple University together. That's how we met. When we were both like in our like sophomore years of high school.
Aw.
And yeah. So yeah, that's my friend for a very long time. And he's an amazing writer too. So I'm proud of him and everything he's accomplished, his book and everything. So yes. Yeah, shout out to Nadir. Yeah, our names are actually quite similar too. So my birth name is Nadira.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
yeah,
cute. Aw.
yeah.
I love
So
that.
that was always dope too. Yeah, but that's my homie Nadira.
Wonderful. All right, Queen Smalls, before we let you go, we need
Mhm.
to have you let the people know how they can find you, whether that's website, Instagram, what's the new thing called? It ain't Twitter no more. What is it
Well,
called?
Yo,
X.
what's Twitter
oh,
for
X.
us?
I know I don't talk about when I say Twitter.
Yeah, it gets wild on X. I don't have an X. But yeah, but no, I'm just on Instagram right now. My handle is I'm her underscore smalls with a Z. So that's the letter M, letter I, letter M, HER underscore SAMS. Oh my gosh.
No stress. We're gonna put it in the description.
Yeah,
Lord,
I,
not
you
mistake.
know,
What are letters? What is the alphabet? What language am I speaking? What the
right. Child, talk
wait, try
about,
one more time. Try one more time.
yes. It's the letter I, letter M, HER underscore SMALLZ.
Damn,
Yeah,
there we go.
I don't know. I think I glitched for a second. I think, yeah,
Yaya's
yeah.
Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
We understand glitching over here. It's all right.
Yeah. But thank you. Thank y'all so much for having me. This was wonderful. I
Glad you enjoyed
really I haven't been like in the internet streets as of late. So, kind of like popping out to do something like this and being able to connect with y'all. This was really nice. It was refreshing. So I definitely appreciate y'all for creating space and continuing to bring more eyes and ears to this art form because it's so important. So just thank y'all so much for what it is that y'all do, and I hope y'all continue to thrive.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Yes,
Hmm.
appreciate
Yeah.
the love. Absolutely. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and this is the end of the Sweet 223. Once again, thank you so much. And hopefully we'll have you back one day.
Absolutely. Thank y'all again for having me. Y'all enjoy this beautiful, beautiful Sunday.
Hey y'all, we're in another episode. We are in the calf with a special guest, our friend, our sister, Cheyenne Valentine. Welcome to our podcast.
Hey
Yes,
y'all.
back crackling.
I'm
Happy
about to
birthday,
say, how
Clark.
you gonna introduce her without saying it's the CAU family? Okay, we've had a lot of CAU
We
family in the
did.
building. You have to say the illustrious Clark Atlanta University fam. You can't leave that
Mhm.
out.
Our
Period.
stepsister, our sister from the step team, Sweet
Boom.
Life.
One.
Gotta add all that. Yes. We may have mentioned Cheyenne before when we talk about the step team. So yeah, this is the lovely, lovely Cheyenne. We love her so much. It's a pleasure. We're so excited to have you on our podcast. So welcome to True Carpet Podcast with me and Moni.
My I say, I'm just loving the fact that we came ready. Y'all see this white, black, and red? Wasn't planned.
Oh,
It wasn't planned. Come through CAU
Come on,
colors.
CSU colors.
I
You
actually have a crackle
can't
in a
get
sweater
lost.
on.
I
And
didn't
you have
plan
a Clark
this.
hoodie
Yep.
on. Period.
Let's go.
That's
I love
up.
it. Yes.
Yes. So aside from being, an alumni from the illustrious Clark Atlanta University, we want to talk with you today about your business, Happy Vibes brand. So before we get into the nuts and bolts, like all the questions that Moni and I have about you and your brand, how do you go about introducing yourself and your brand to people?
Ooh, and like it's funny because it varies.
Okay.
Um, Happy Vibes Brain is constantly evolving, and like it's really a mission and it's an energy that I am working on creating. And so Happy Vibes is bigger than just a brand. It's really like a movement to help people find their inner peace, the things that make them most happy, the things that bring people to their truest selves. And so as I'm evolving the brand, that is what I'm constantly striving to find and figure out and help people identify within themselves.
Well, I love how you said it's an energy, like that just connected with my energy, girl. I like that. Yeah.
See, but she said the brand was still evolving, and I love that because nothing ever remains the same. We got to be
Yeah.
open to change and being vulnerable to things being different. So I love the fact that you are allowing your business to continue evolve and learning new things in regards to what you want it to be and what you aspire it to be. in regards to what you see in the future. So allowing yourself to continue to build within that, allowing
Mhm.
yourself to be a part of that brand, growing within yourself, allowing your business to grow. I think that's very, very, very honorable. So I definitely
Hmm.
appreciate that you're allowing your brand to be your baby and to literally grow with you.
Quite literally growing. Like as I change and as I grow and learn new things, I'm like, ooh, this is something. And you know what's funny? Like the brand was really born out of something that I needed for myself. And I really wanted to find something like that spoke to what was true for me. And so as
Hmm.
I'm learning and growing, I'm continuously adding more things to the brand because I'm constantly needing new things.
Yes. So speaking of growing, the first seed that I know offhand from your brand is the More Than a Coloring Book that you started with. Well, it may not be your start, but that's what I know as your start. So and it's an adult coloring book. Now, as a grown adult, I'm like, why would I want to sit here and color? And then I seen you have events with the coloring book and everything. Why the heck would I, as an adult, want to? First of all, buy a coloring book or sit with other grown-ups and color. Like, what does it do? What's the purpose of this book?
So actually, art therapy is a huge healing tool for people all over the world and for all ages.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I started to realize is the older we get, the farther away we get from our innate creative selves and our daring selves and our explorative selves. And the reason behind that is we get consumed with how other people view us, what other people say it means to be an adult, all the things, all the priorities and responsibilities that we're supposed to have. And so then we lose out on the things that truly make us really happy and really like in a free space to explore. And so what coloring does, it strips away all of those pressures and it puts you in a space where you're doing something without any rules, without any criticism. You're just doing and you're being and focusing on the present moment. Once you're able to focus on the present moment, now that then creates a good solid foundation and a platform for you to build on whatever it is that you're striving to build on. So it helps to clear your thoughts, helps to calm you, helps to get you focused, all those it starts to vanish because you're now focusing on this one thing that's in front of you. And being
Yes.
present is a huge tool to like really help you, especially with your mental health.
Yes, absolutely. I love that because I love coloring.
She
I
does.
and I think I really got into adult coloring, remembering how my mother did it as a child. Now I didn't get, of course,
Mhm.
coloring as a child. That's just something that she likes to do. Oh, I was coloring with my mom, but as an adult, I thought back to when my mom would do it, and I'm like, yo, this is relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm so focused on making sure I'm outlining these lines, I'm picking the right colors, I'm creating this
Mhm.
vibe for what I'm blending these colors with. Like my mind is so focused on what I'm doing. As you said, I'm not worried about any other thing that's going on. Similar to journaling or getting myself lost in a movie or a book, I'm so focused on what's in front of me. Like this is what's important right now. I'm in the present moment. I'm enjoying. I'm relaxing. My body is relaxed. I'm not tense. You know, my mental
Mhm.
health becomes my priority because I'm prioritizing that
Mhm.
peace, that calm, that quiet, something that's making me happy, something that's making me relax. So like just thinking this, listening as you talking, I'm like, that's really how I feel when I'm coloring. I got so many different types of coloring books. It got to the
She
point
does.
where I would go to the dollar store and buy like 5 coloring books at a time, even if the little white princesses, I'm coloring in brown, it don't matter. But
Right.
I'm turning those coloring books into what I want them to look like. And it's a lot of fun. It's really relaxing. And I love that you have made that a part of your brand.
Yeah, no, that's fire. I'm glad that you said that. Like, it takes you to your present moment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it reminds me of there's two things. So there was a quote that I read, and it talked about was that people in the West are always getting ready to live, and the premise behind it was like we're always getting ready for the next thing. We're
Yeah.
never really focusing on what's happening right now and right here. Like when you're young, you're getting ready for high school. When you're in high school, you're getting ready for college. And you're in college,
Mm.
like you're getting ready to get out of the house and move away from your parents. When you're, in once you're in college, now you're getting ready for the next job. Once you're in your job, you're getting ready for vacation. Then you're getting ready for retirement. And it's just like, that was your life.
Yeah.
And it's really like practicing. It's a good way to practice being present, even if coloring per se isn't your end goal, but something to do to get you practicing being in the present moment, whatever that means for you, is going to be very key for you.
Yeah. So yeah, what you're saying absolutely makes 100%. It's like it makes sense. We're so hyper focused in the Western side of the world on paying, what's next, trying to get ahead of the game, opposed to staying present in what we have. Those things that we were getting ready for before, we now have it, but we don't focus on those because we're continuing to look ahead. But my connection still is the same. As Moni said, it reminds me of the reel that people have been doing, where it's like a lot of ruckus in the gym, outside, wherever you're at, it's just really loud. But then when you're doing that thing for self care, like what we're talking about, coloring or painting, when you're doing those things, it just quiets everything out. And as I'm listening to you, of course, art therapy, self care, I'm like, yeah, that resonates. It actually 100% makes sense. Yeah, and it goes along with the theme of your company. So we want to ask you, why is it important to revolutionize people's perspective on mental health? Because you mentioned how coloring and everything it intertwines and is important for our mental health. So why is it important that we revolutionize? Oh my God, tongue twister.
Revolution.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Yes. Look, can I get an amen?
Revolution.
Like I said, take your time, baby. Take your
Take your time, baby.
No, seriously, like every time I think about the word mental health, it has this stigma to it that, like, don't get me wrong, it's changing, right? More
Hmm.
people are taking mental health seriously. But even in the climate that we're in right now, those who are taking mental health seriously, it's like, okay, well, how serious are you taking it? Like, are you taking it so serious to the point where you're only seeking therapy because you think something's wrong with you, or you're
Mm.
only seeking support because you're going through a crisis? Like, we're not even looking at mental health for what the potential, what it can be. And so when I think about, okay, we have one body, our body is controlled by our minds, essentially. Like, everything works together and it's connected. If once our mind stops working, our body, that's it. Like, our body cannot function without our mind. And so I always ask this question: why aren't we taking our mind so seriously enough? Because it's literally like the heartbeat of our system, right? And so then when I take it a step further and I think about, okay, we go to the doctor, we get a checkup, we go to the dentist to get our teeth cleanings annually. Why isn't it the priority to check on our mental health just as high up as it is to check on our physical health? Because one can't exist without the other.
Right.
And so now when I think about that, I take it even a step further. Mental health doesn't have to be this odious, dark thing. Mental health is a part of who we are. It is a part of our everyday. And so we are literally continuing to maintain what it is that our mind is doing. And how do we do that? We find things that bring us joy. We find things that help us serve a purpose in life. We find things that like help us to connect with our loved ones. We find things that are going to help us to build on mental clarity and stableness so that we can continue to pour into our body. Because once we get distracted, once we feel unfulfilled, once we start, losing purpose and losing vision, it starts to impact our body.
Hmm.
And everything else is connected and everything else starts to spiral. So once we can control this, things are going to start to fall in place and we start to make better decisions for our bodies, for our social circles, for our work. Like, everything really just starts to fall in line. And so when I say revolutionize, it's really changing the definition of how we see mental health. It doesn't have to be attached to this therapy, like this thing that is like like nothing's wrong with you because you're taking priority of your mental health can be fun. Why can't mental health just be, let's just go out and like have a good time, and we're gonna bond with our people and the people that make us feel good. That's a part of taking care of your mental health.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Your Tuesday and Thursdays walk, right? That you
Listen,
do.
I have my walking club Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm in school to be a yoga instructor now, and I'm
Yep. Let them
learning
know,
all
Shy. Let them know.
things like, coloring, taking dance classes,
Mhm.
just whatever it is that makes. Girl, I bought a ukulele and I've been sitting here playing and watching.
Yes.
I be like,
Go ahead, girl. I love that.
all of that is contributing to my overall mental well-being. It's like,
Mhm.
hello guys, like there's so much more to it, and so it boils down to the things that make you happy, honestly. So
Yeah.
Yes,
we
absolutely.
won't change that,
We have to.
Mhm.
For some reason, immediately as soon as you talked about having like your if without Lord, now I can't talk. Look what you did to me, Yaya. As soon as you started talking about um like not having your mental intact, it made me think about like all of the doctor shows that I watch because I'm a big doctor show fanatic. But they come to tell families that yes, they're still alive, their body is still here, their heart's still beating, but they're brain dead. It's
Mm.
a matter of like, yes, they're still technically alive and they're still living, but
But they're not here,
they're
they're not
not
even
here.
motivating.
That's not the them you know.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So it makes me think like even in reality, even if we're walking, we're living, we're breathing, if our mental isn't intact, are we really here? Are we really truly living the lives we are meant to live if we are not truly taking care of our mind, body, and soul? Like there's so much to us that we need to take care of aside
Hmm.
from what people can see on the outside. Like it's
Facts.
got to be so much more than the physical. We have to take the mental serious in regards to anything that has to do with past trauma, things that we're dealing with in the present, with stress, with things in regards to the list can go on and on. But
Mhm.
as my mind is rattling as I'm speaking, I can just literally think about and when I've been in places where my mind wasn't completely there. I've been in a dark
Mhm.
space and I didn't know how to get back to myself. So being in
Yeah.
those moments and knowing how to um put myself back in a space and connecting with things that I love to help me remember like, oh, uh I did this is something I love. Let me see if I can get back to that. Oh yeah, this
Right.
is something that I enjoy eating. Let me see if I can bring back that memory. Or this is something that, I like to do with my mom or my grandmother or my sisters. Let me see if I can rekindle that memory even though they may not still be here, but it's something that could still bring me joy. We have to
Right.
find all of those little increments of things to help piece together our own mental, those puzzle pieces to put us back together because there's so many different ways that we can do it and there's so many different ways that can bring us down, so we have to
Hmm.
Mhm.
find those ways to keep us pressing forward. Don't have me don't have me going there.
For
Yeah.
me, it's when Cheyenne was speaking, it's making me think of the little me, the little Yaya, the things that I've always wanted to do. So, Moni and I always talk about, skating. That's an activity that we want to do. Or, we did skydiving, but, people talk about vacationing all the time, coloring, getting into, like, tapping into different things. I love that you said playing the ukulele, like, getting into different activities that, um, your gestures, getting into different things that we regularly don't do. We're, like you said, always looking forward, always planning forward. We're so into the groove of get dressed, go to work, go do this, go home, eat dinner, go to sleep. It's a pattern. It's a pattern. But getting
Mhm.
into, breaking those patterns and coloring here and there, doing puzzles here and there, getting into different classes. You mentioned yoga classes, finding something to continue to grow. I was listening to another podcast and they were mentioning getting into driving. It does, like, and I love that they said nothing has an age. And that was something that always bothered me. Like, dang, I really want to go back to school for this, but I'm this age, or I really
Man,
want to do this. And then people say, you ain't learn how to do that when you were a kid. No, but
No.
I did,
there's
but
no book that says there's a expiration age with any of these things. So that's what I'm
right.
thinking of while you're speaking. Like, yes, like we do need to get into activities that's gonna bring us joy and have us, like, when we're old and gray and sitting in that bed and say, did we live? I want to say yes. I want to say that I did things at a younger age, at an older age, whatever the case may be, that makes me feel fulfilled, opposed to dang, like all I did was hustle and bustle all day, every
all
day.
your life, and then it's just like, now what? Like, you can't take your money to the grave. Now,
Can't.
it's great to be able to leave a legacy for your family and all the things, but then what good is it if, like, you're in bed alone, like on your deathbed, and you're just like, dang, you can't even really pour into your family and your people if you're miserable. And
Right.
I see a lot of people who are just like, okay, you've been successful, but you still can't even put a smile on your face. So it
Mm-hmm.
lets me know that success, while it's very important because you want to be able to leave a legacy, your success, like, I think it's important for your success to be built on a foundation of something you genuinely enjoy doing, something that genuinely brings you joy. Because if
Yeah.
it's not, and you're just doing it for the sake of pulling in that dollar and living up to a status quo, that happiness is gonna flee and it's gonna show. And when you're 70 and 80, it's gonna start to wear on your body. And it's just like, it's inevitable. We get one life, like one. And whatever you believe, maybe there's an afterlife in your practice, that's fine. But in this life, like,
Are we in today?
that
Right.
we are in today, in this current moment right here, this is the life. And like, what are you going to do with it? Honestly, what are you going to do with it? And so I know
Mm-hmm.
we got to work, and I know we got to pay the bills and feed our kids and do all the things that, like, help us to live right in this society. But are you feeding your soul? Are you feeding your mind? Are you feeding your spirit? Like, that's going to be way more important than any
Are
dollar.
you feeding your soul? I love that.
I was
Episode title if we don't have one. Feed your soul, baby. Make it happy. Make your
You can
soul
feed your
happy.
belly, but are you feeding your soul?
Right.
I'm like, I
Speaking
gotta
of,
fix that because I've been feeding my soul.
oh my God.
I'm
Speaking
not
of
doing
feeding,
somebody ready. I am. My soul is heavy. Okay.
Okay, my soul is thick. Okay.
ooh, my soul is thick.
My
Yes.
soul been eating good.
Thick
Okay.
and happy.
Ooh, yeah, if y'all can see me rubbing on my soul right now.
I'ma feed
Soul
my
rolls.
soul.
It's my
I'ma
soul
feed my
rolls.
soul.
Facts, no, for real though. So,
Speaking of feeding our soul, so we talked about some activities and things that we do. Um, what events are you pouring out to the people, or having or exploring, that's going to feed the people for the Happy Vibes brand?
ooh, so I have events and new products coming out, right?
Ooh, shimmy, shimmy.
Let's start with the events and services. So I'll be getting my yoga teacher certification in May. Very excited about that. So we'll definitely be having some very fun yoga classes for the girls, really for everybody. But I'm gonna start with the girls because I'm a girl's girl. But ultimately, I'll be doing retreats around the world
Ooh,
and nationwide. And I'm a travel woman. Like, I love to go to different places. Y'all know I lived overseas
yes,
for 4 years. I was in China, I was in Kuwait, and I came back, and I was like, man, it would be dope if, like, my people here were, like, traveling too. That would be so cool to just see, like, Simone and Yaya,
yes,
China on a
Yes. Take me with
gondola
you, girl.
somewhere. And it would just be so cool. So, like, I want to go to some places where we see different cultures, outside the resort, off the beaten path, and, like, really explore the city, bond, love on one another, and do some yoga, some meditation, and some affirmations. So those are some of the services and events that will be coming your way. Also, definitely, I do sipping colors. My sipping colors, that's my baby. That was like my first type of event that I did when I had my coloring book. I was like, ooh, everybody's doing sipping paints. Well, let's color. So we color, drink a little bubbly, and then we just vibe out. I do have affirmation cards as well coming out. So as you know, like in the coloring book, there are affirmations that are also in there, and then there's journaling pages. And so that's like the unique part. It's not just a coloring book, which is why it's called more than a
more
color.
than coming.
But there'll be affirmation, like a deck of cards to inspire deeper conversation. One of the things that I learned after the pandemic, especially, is we're having a hard time communicating with each other and getting back to that space of being around people. And now, like, the conversations, not to say all, but I'm noticing some people are having trouble getting into, like, deeper conversations and really getting to know each other. So the affirmation cards is going to speak to that. give people something to really like ponder on as they're getting to know their friends, their family members, their partners, everybody. But in addition to that, once I launch and get into my yoga space, yoga apparel and yoga mats will be coming your way. So
Yes,
all the tea,
Shy.
giving y'all all the tea because I haven't actually officially announced any of this stuff yet.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why people
We're
gotta tune
gonna
in and
vibe out.
listen.
Facts. So stay tuned. There's gonna be so many more things coming because the vibes are vibing, and you gotta trust the vibes for real.
For
Absolutely.
real.
You definitely
The
gotta
energy, like you said earlier, the energy.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yep.
And many a times I've had to read the room, read the energy, understand the vibes.
It's like,
It's not my vibe.
okay.
I'll catch y'all
Yep.
another day.
Mhm.
So this is a question for all of us, Cheyenne. I know that you spoke earlier. I touched on the Walking Tuesday and Thursday that you do. You mentioned ukulele and also studying to be a yogi. So are there any other self care outlets that you have that you like to practice that maybe other people may be interested in trying themselves?
Oh, that's a good one. So I find myself just dancing around my apartment.
I love that.
Like, and it's the most random thing when I'm really happy or whatever mood I'm in, honestly, I'll put on something and sometimes there's no music at all. And I'm just like full on 8 count choreograph. I'm just like moving, no rhyme or reason. Like, I'm just letting my body flow. Like, feel like I would encourage anybody to just do that. Just start to let your body move. Our bodies are meant to move. So even if you're not coordinated or you're not a dancer, whatever the case is, like just letting your body move, when I tell you, it gives me so much life and so much like it just makes me feel so free. Like dance like nobody is watching is what I really live by for real.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. Shoot, I do
Me
that anyway.
too.
That's
Like twerking in the mirror, just whatever you want to do, like be weird about it. Like it doesn't even have to look cute. Like just do
right.
it and move. Just move your body.
If my mirror had a camera, there would always be a
Oh
shoot.
my God.
Girl, if it was a fly on the wall.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't want to see the footage from my camera. It will be like, because sometimes I do the same thing. I love that you shared that because typically people think I go to the gym, I get my nails done, but I love that you share something that's so random, but it also it finds the kid in you again, and
Yeah.
it's free. It ain't hurting nobody. You don't got to go outside. Like I love that you shared that, and sometimes when I do that, because I do it too, and I know Moni does it too. I stop and I'm like, yo, if somebody was watching me, like, it would be so funny to them to see it, but it does, like, help me to feel, free and like me. And busting out in random songs, just making up the funniest, craziest song. I'm still the same guy that I was at Clark Atlanta. Just, just my
Period.
randomness. So I love that
Girl,
you
I
shared
start
that.
stepping. I'll be like, sweet.
I all this
Same. I just go through the beat in my head, like, "Tick, tick."
I love it all.
What about you, Moni?
um, from me, and I mean, girl, I feel like you know what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Like for me, a nice warm bubble bath. Like sometimes I really just need to soak and relax my bones. Okay, like
Yeah.
it's just something about just the relaxation, the hot water, and just sitting and relaxing, allowing my muscles to just relax. It's an amazing, amazing feeling, especially like after I get out, I shower, I rinse myself off. Just I feel rejuvenated. I feel
Hmm.
rejuvenated after being able to soak and allow my body to relax. Because yeah, you can take a shower real quick, whoop the whoop, in and out. But it's just something about that, the technique of just soaking your body. I feel like I literally leave my stress in that water. Like if I feel like it releases off of me as I soak. I close my eyes. I keep a low light, either a candle or a low light in the bathroom. I'm playing my jazz music or maybe some slow vibe soul, like something that's calming. I ain't playing sexy red in the bathroom. I have I have my vibe is just all serene. Sometimes I even play my meditation app and I do a meditation while I'm in I'm in the tub, and I'll do that, close my eyes, and I'll do my meditation for the duration of my soak, my bath, and then play jazz after that, and then rinse my body off, take a nice shower, and then I truly feel rejuvenated. And then sometimes after that, I might even come in my room, play. I've started playing like a motivational speech on find one on YouTube or something, and put on my face mask while I finish, oiling up my body, like just truly relaxing and like really getting in that full rejuvenation of mind, body, and spirit. I love
That
doing
sounds so relaxing and peaceful.
it is. I need to do it more often. I used to do it every Sunday or Saturday morning. I need to get back to it. I don't do it as often as I used to, but now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm like, I gotta get back to doing it once a week.
Yeah.
Prioritize my me. Prioritize me. That my mental health. I need to
For
prioritize me.
sure.
Right, exactly.
Well, is there anything else that you want to share about your brand or about yourself, Cheyenne, before we let you go? I feel like this was really good, like really good information. I love how you incorporated energy. I love how you touched on mental health just being a regular thing, not just a stigma focused thing. Because even for me, even as a therapist, when I first started meeting with a therapist, it was hard for me to vocalize, say, hey, I'm seeing my therapist. Now I'm comfortable with it, but at first it was like, people are going to think I'm weird. People are going to think this.
Mhm.
People are going to think that. I know what therapy is, but not everyone else knows that. So I love that you use the term revolutionize therapy in mental health. So yeah, and then also touching on the coloring book, and it's not just a child's thing, it's an adult thing, it's for your mental health, all those things. So I soaked in a lot of knowledge, and you kind of like sparked things for me as well. But aside from that, is there anything else that you want to share with the listeners?
You know, just love on you, loving your people. Honestly, like love goes such a long way, goes a far way, and exercising gratitude is to me the best way to show love to people, to yourself. And the more you do that, the more you'll be very surprised at how fulfilling your life starts to become. And even if your life is fulfilling, like, continue to show that gratitude because you never know how your actions, your words, and your energy can pour into somebody else. So that is all for me.
Yes, I
Check
love
me
Yes.
out,
that.
happyvibesbrand.com.
Yes, I love that. And I must say, Cheyenne, just seeing your growth over the years and what you've been able to do, I'm so proud of you.
Me too.
It's just, I love seeing how, like, knowing from when I first met you up until now, it's just nothing but boom, boom, boom. Like, you just continue pressing forward, continue doing your thing, continue doing more for yourself, loving on yourself, pouring into other people. It's just a beautiful thing to see. So I just want to say that I'm very, very proud of you. Keep pressing forward and keep doing what you're doing, girl. So happy
Yes.
for you. So happy for you.
Yes, you couldn't be then who? Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
And I just want to add on that Moni and I were talking about you behind your back, and we were saying, how everything that you have is true to you. Some people get out there and do things that's not really fitting for who they truly genuinely are. You were always this ball of happy energy. You were always like, come on guys, let's do this, let's do that, or whatever. And even as far as you getting certified to be a yoga instructor, it's fitting with your brand. Everything goes together with your brand. It's not like you're just doing these random things and trying to squeeze it into a ball just because it's the popular thing to do, or let me try this out, let me try. No, it's all Cheyenne in a ball together. So the Happy Vibes brand, the Cheyenne brand is all one thing. And like Moni said, I'm just grateful to experience and witness your growth. And I just say keep going, keep doing the damn thing, and congratulations now and in advance for what's to come.
Right, because I can't wait. Shoot, I want some happy vibes, yoga clothes
I know.
with
See
my
my
with my fat back soul.
Oh my
listen.
god.
So then the apparel line, and I'm gonna tell you, it's a secret. Okay, I can't tell nobody.
Okay, we telling the world right now, but tell them.
I know. So Happy Vibes will be the overarching, the parent company. The apparel line that we'll be launching is officially Trust the Vibes.
Yes.
Yes.
So that is trademarked, and we gonna run with it.
Yes, I love
Yes,
that.
trust the damn vibes. Trust the
That's
vibes.
just
I love
that.
that. Yes.
Me
Well, let me
too.
know when it's ready because I need something to say trust the vibes.
Period.
Some
Because
people
you
need
know
to know
me.
that I'm trusting the
Oh
vibes
yeah.
at all times, and that energy needs to go elsewhere.
Hmm.
Read the room, read my shirt, my hoodie, my whatever else I got on.
That's
Trust
it.
the
Yeah, I
vibes.
have to point no more.
All
All
right,
right.
so Shan, before you go,
So
please, please, please let the people know where they can find you on all social media platforms. You gave us the website, but for people that like to Insta and send a little DM.
yeah. So business, Happy Vibes brand is everything. So Happy Vibes brand on Instagram, all one word, happyvibesbrand.com. You can email me at info@happyvibesbrand. And then my personal Instagram is Shyanne Valentine, Shyanne M Valentine. So it's my name, spelled phonetically, SHYNNE. You know the vibes.
Yes, and of course, y'all always know we're gonna put all of that in the description for us that are just not real quick with the thumbs. But you'll be able to click that on in the description. We'll make it easy for you.
Appreciate
Yeah.
y'all.
Yes,
We love you, Cheyenne. Thanks for being on our podcast. Oh, look at the heart.
Alice.
I want more
Cute.
hearts.
Yes.
That was so cute.
That was cute. It's coming.
Moni.
We sent we sent you our hearts, Moni.
I know
Yeah.
it. I'm not jealous. Oh no.
I don't know. Maybe should the camera.
I
Wow,
don't
my
know.
camera is hater.
Hey
Wow.
It
there.
For those of y'all that can see, it's hearts on the screen, and my screen is not doing it. But it is what it is. Thank you so
is.
much, Cheyenne. We love you, and we can.
Love
I
you.
guess we're coming down to Atlanta to see you.
Please come to Atlanta. Come visit. I know y'all got
And
a place.
Atlanta is one of
Casa
the
es tu
homes, the
casa.
second home. So definitely we'll be down to visit at some point. We'll be hitting you up.
Fire, fire.
All
Bye,
right.
y'all.
Until next time, see you.
Yeah. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? In today's dorm story segment, Yaya and I are going to be sharing a memory from our childhood that involves our favorite activity from back in the day. So
You sound so stuffy.
I don't. It just came out of nowhere. I'm telling you, these allergies are allergen, but persevere. We push it through. I embrace
Okay.
the challenge. So, Yaya, go ahead. Share with the people your favorite childhood activity.
My favorite childhood activity. The first thing that comes to my mind is cheerleading. I like, a lot of times my mom tells me things, or my dad, my aunties tells me things about things that I did as a child. But one thing that I can remember that doesn't really have to do with, I used to do this with my cousin or this with that person or whatever the case may be, is cheerleading. I started cheerleading when I was maybe 3 or 4 years old. My brother, he used to play football for Pop Warner, and my mom would take me to the practices when she would drop him off and pick him up. And I don't remember this, but my mom said that I would like always look at the cheerleaders, and I told her that I wanted to become a cheerleader. So I guess she talked to the coaches and got me into it, and I was a mascot until I graduated and was finally 9 years old. It's either 8 or 9 years old. I was finally able to become a cheerleader, an official cheerleader, which the transition was weird because I was so used to always being the small one, always, being on top of the pyramid, um, like always two under my mom because she became a coach for the Eagles. We were sophomore cheerleaders, so it was like, if you're not familiar with Pop Warner, it's for the wards, which is also like the sections of the town that you live in. Then other cities had their teams too, so we'll play each other, and then we'll also play the other cities. But for each ward had the younger team and then the older team. So my mom coached the older team cheerleader, so I will always be with my mom as her mascot. Not mascot, as her, yeah, mascot, like the little cheerleader. But then once I aged out and became an official cheerleader, I got to be with the age appropriate girls my age. Then it was like, all the stuff that girls go through, the drama and having to really know how to jump and split and flip. And I didn't know how to do none of that. But for me, it was the fun of, I always had the strong voice. I always had the best clap, like everything, but I never like, you know how they say people are bow legged. I just thought of this the other week. I have bow arms, so like when the coaches would say, I'm calling it that. My arms don't go quote unquote straight. So every time they say do a Y, I would have to turn my arms. This we had the same struggle with the step team. Trisha used to always say, your arms aren't straight, and I'm like, my arms can't go straight. But now at this big age, I'm like, I have bow arms. Like they're just bow arms. They don't go straight like everyone else's arms. So I had that issue. My jumps, I cannot jump for anything. So my jumps were never great. I'm too scared to flip. Just all those things. So I was a good base. You know, I could push the girls up in the pyramids and everything. I had the great voice and everything else. But for me, it was the socializing and actually doing something that I found fun. I actually look forward to every day after school, going to cheerleading practice, hanging out with my friends, getting that Subway sandwich on the weekends, running, seeing the new football players, like, just all those things is just like really, really fun to do. The unfortunate thing of my favorite childhood memory, it clashed with school. So we would have cheerleading practice after school from whatever time to maybe like 7 at night or whatever. But then remember, my mom was a coach. So even when I wasn't on her team, I would have to wait for her to make sure all the cheerleaders go home, make sure that they're safe from the park. And my mom would have her meetings with the other coaches, and then we would go home. And I was late, and I went to a charter school, so I had a lot of homework. I would be up until 1 a.m., 2 a.m. doing homework. Then I got to get up early in the morning the next morning to go to school. So it clashed. My social activities and school clashed, and I just decided to quit cheerleading because it was just overwhelming for me. But that was like a highlight of my young life, was being a cheerleader. Everyone knew that Yaya was missing church because it was cheerleading season. And I just took so much pride in my uniform and, just being a part of my life. So favorite childhood memory, sorry, activity is cheerleading.
That's so fun. I do have a question though, because you keep saying mascot, and I know some people like me. When you think mascot, you think like the costume. Because I was a mascot in middle school, and I was a tiger, and I was
Mm.
out dancing as a mascot. So when you say mascot, are you talking about being what we think as a mascot in a costume, or is it a term for something else?
That's why I stopped and I said, oh no, because my cousin was the mascot because she was the eagle, and
Okay,
then somebody else was the bear. But it is a mascot, which is like the little cheerleader. You're not old enough to be a cheerleader. But I had like a cheerleading uniform. If I could find it, I do have a picture. One picture I don't like because my teeth was buck. This is before I had braces. Like
but
I looked funny, but I was like a little baby with a cheerleading uniform. So on paper I couldn't be a cheerleader, but I was like the little pretty little baby that was like with the big pom poms and the skirt. So they
dressed
called
like
us the mascot too. Say that again.
I said dressed like a cheerleader, but not officially a cheerleader.
Yeah, on paper I wasn't a cheerleader. I was just like their little baby on the team.
Okay, okay, I get what you mean now. Because I was like, that don't sound like mascot, but it sounded like you was representing the team. All right. My activities. So I was trying to think of which one I wanted to share because I did a lot of different things. Um, but one of my favorite ones I would say was braiding. I taught myself how to braid. I had this. Oh, actually, she over here. Hold on.
I think your little doll that you did the micros.
Yes, I taught my, and she been like this since I was. These braids, I've never taken them out. I taught myself
You
how to
can't take them
braid.
out.
I can't. And I'm not going to. She been microed out since childhood. Say hey, Sarah. Hey.
Hey,
So
her
this is
cheeks.
a doll that I got as a child, and she's been with me ever since. But I taught myself how to. One day I was bored, and back in the day, baby doll, the whole head didn't have hair. It'd be like
Oh
little
yes,
in the head where it was like the middle part didn't all have hair. Why they made baby doll heads like that, I have no idea. That was so ghetto. So around the perimeter, it was a lot of hair. In the middle, it was just random baldness. But
yes. I
anyway,
had dolls like that.
so dumb. But anyway, so when I started piecing, since the hairs were connected by small little holes. Every small hole, I just started braiding it, and it took me over the course of a couple of weeks. But eventually, I finished braiding her hair, and that's what it came out to be. I then I started learning how to braid on my own hair, doing French braids. Like, it was no YouTube back then, all these
Right.
tutorials that they got online. I literally taught myself how to braid my own hair. I used to braid my own hair. I don't do it anymore because I literally just don't have the patience. I'd rather just pay somebody else to do it. But I braided my hair in college. I braided some of my friends' hair. I've done twists. But I think just being able to like teach myself a technical skill and being so engulfed in it, um, it was very I guess very eye opening for me, because I used to
Mm.
sit and have my mom do my hair, so that partially what inspired me to do it. I was probably in trouble on punishment. I had to figure out what am I going to do in my room. So I can't watch TV and listen to music, so I occupied my time with teaching myself how to braid. So,
Yes.
um but yeah, it's something that I'm still able to do to this day. Because I remember at some point, it got to a point where my mom told me that I had to start doing my own hair. I think I was in middle
Mm.
school or getting ready to transition into high school. It was time for me to start learning how to do my own hair. So then that's when it got to a point. I was like, well, what am I gonna do to my hair? Or like when I used to go to my dad's house and my mom already had my hair done, but just like sometimes just retwisting my own hair and putting the barrettes back on the end if it was a little messed up. But I take pride in these braids, okay? She been rocking with me. What, we're not gonna say how many. What was 30? How many years? 30 something years. She.
Not that long. 20 something years.
I think it's 30 something. I
You
could
weren't 3.
swear. I
You were
could
4 years old, Brayton.
maybe. Well,
Oh
when
my
I
god.
got her, so she been rocking with me for 30 something.
Oh,
Not the
okay.
braids.
I remember when I first saw Sarah, I didn't know that you braided it. It looked like the braids came like that. So yeah, shout out to you for learning to
Yeah,
braid
I
Sarah's
give
hair.
you no time. I think a couple times me and my sister got in trouble for trying to use like gel and grease on our doll hair.
Oh my god.
Or trying to use the barrettes and the volleyballs from the
Mm.
bucket of hair supplies. What are you doing? But hey, I got to keep this one though. I kept this volleyball. It's still from years and years ago. So, but yeah, I would say braiding. I never saw myself as a beautician though. I didn't have the patience to be sitting
Oh my god,
with
I
the hair
did.
all the time.
I used to have a cardboard sign in my room, and it was called something like Angel Salon or something like that. And I had like, you get your doobie for $20, you get this for that. It was no braids on it. It was like a hair salon, like a beauty salon. Cuz I guess I looked up to my beautician. Is my mom used to always make sure that, I don't know if it was every week or every other week, I was in the salon, especially on Easter's. Every time,
Yeah,
Easter,
Easter
Christmas.
weekend.
Yes, I used to hate it, but now I look at the pictures like, oh, I look so cute. But I hated those tight curls and everything. But yeah, I used to wanna. That was a job that I wanted, to be a beautician.
Cool. You know what that reminded me of? Lay's Place. That sign I had on my
Oh
door
yeah,
in
in
college.
college.
Because everybody used to want to come to help me do their hair. So I'd be
Hmm.
like, yeah, I could do that back when perms were still a thing. You need help doing a perm? I got you. Because was perming my own hair. I had to teach myself how to do it. By the time I went to college, I was on my own to try to figure it out. I
I don't
wasn't
know why it's called Lele. Like, your name is Moni, your name is Simone.
I
So
don't know where the Lele came from. The actual name was
I know. Yes.
Shaquande, but Lele was short. So you was coming to Lele's place to get your hair did, fried, dyed, and laid to the side.
Who
Which
was Shaquanda Lane? They don't know.
it was a my alter ego for doing hair. What's up? Welcome to Lele's place. What can I do for you? You want braids? You want twists? You need a roller set? You need a perm? What I got you. What you need?
They can't. For the
Oh,
people that's not watching, she in here acting
you
like
need a wash and go?
she from Poetic Justice.
Right. You need a
I
wash
mean,
and go?
Friday.
Right, and then I had the times I was available on there. Like, don't be knocking on my door when I'm not available. I had hours. The shop was open.
What a fun time in
What a
college.
fun time! That was fun. Lay's place.
Yes. Well, this was a good segment for Dorm Story.
Yes, that was fun. I enjoyed that. Got me thinking about a bunch of other things now. All righty. So now we can head on over into the announcements for some community news.
Okay.
It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. Ah, hey, ho, hey.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm trying to wake myself up now. We at the end of the show.
Girl, we got 2 more seconds left. All right, so we want to say thank you to Cheyenne for being a part of our
Yes.
half segment. And before that, thanks to Qxeen Smallz for being a part of Sweet 223, our poetry segment. This podcast episode was so much fun.
Amazing.
Um, my service, again, I don't think, guys, it's not my service, it's my laptop. So I updated my laptop and I should be good to go moving forward. But aside from that,
Okay.
aside from
Feel
that,
it.
thanks to Cheyenne and Queen Smalls for being a part of our podcast. Great conversations with both of you. You both are talented, amazing women. One that we knew for so many years, and one that we just got to know. Actually, on this podcast episode, we just met. So, it that goes to show that conversation with people can. It doesn't matter if you just met them or you knew them for a long time. Get out there and have meaningful conversations with people.
Absolutely. And if you are into the meaningful conversation that you enjoyed on this episode, we so kindly ask for you to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. Get into the socials. Give us
Get
a
into
subscribe, give
it.
us a follow, share with a friend to tell another friend about what you have heard. Keep sharing it on down the line. We much appreciate the support that y'all always give us. I heard from a friend today that they listened to episode 2, so they're trying to catch up.
Aw.
So I love that. Thank you so much for the support. So I love that we're continuing to get feedback and just hearing that new people are tuning into the show. We love our Lord, I can't even think. Jesus, what is happening?
Loyal listeners.
Thank you. That is exactly what I was trying to say. Appreciate our loyal listeners, but we also appreciate our new listeners too. So go ahead and leave us um
A review.
a review, yes.
You're so busy
Give
scratching
me,
your
I see
eyes.
my eyes. They're so glossy. I got stuffy during the episode. That's crazy.
Aw. And we spoke about merch with Cheyenne earlier. We also have merch. So if you visit our website, www.loveloud.com, you'll see our poetry books, our self-help journal, our hoodies, our t-shirts, our mugs, everything that we have. I was about to say our blanket, but that's just me that has the blanket and you have the pillow. But
Right.
yeah, check out our merch on our website and support our Black business.
Yes, absolutely. And what you can also support, and you can also, kind of support yourself in your writing journey. You can join us in writing for the April prompt of the month, which is making a list of your favorite childhood memories. Choose one and write a detailed description of the event and why it was so meaningful for you. Just as Yaya
Yeah.
and I did in the dorm story segment, whether that was the memory of you braiding hair, getting your hair done on Easter Sunday, or getting ready for school, that first day of school, going school shopping. I used to love going to shopping for some schools. I got to add that to the list.
Me too.
As I always say, these prompts are to inspire you to write in any matter that you would like, whether that's poetry, whether that's a journal, whether that's for a novel, a blog, whatever you see fit for your creative journey. Use these prompts to your advantage and then share with us. Share with us if you so please what you have came up with. We would love to hear the creativity that has flowed through you and back to us. Okay?
Yes. And if you made it to the end of our episode, I want to show you guys a picture when I was a mascot.
Oh,
If you're not just listening, if you're watching our YouTube, this is my picture. Little Yaya when I was a mascot.
over a little bit. Yeah, there we go.
Look at I had silver teeth and everything.
Oh, you was a bad. They said the kids of the silver teeth were the bad children.
I was. But that's okay. My teeth are nice and white and healthy now, so yeah.
And them silver caps.
Yeah. But thank you so Oh, you want to say
I
something
want
else?
to say real quick. This episode is releasing in April, which means we are officially in National Poetry Month. Yo,
Woo!
how can we forget to mention it's a National Poetry Month? Welcome to April, everybody. So make sure
Thank
you head to
you.
the website and purchase a poetry book. Look out for that book bundle sale. It's gonna be coming
Right.
right at you. Cacao.
Catch that sell, because life is expensive.
It is. So you want to get them bundled together.
Our books are a good price, though. $15.
Right. And
People be
that
selling
bundle
this for
saves you
more.
dollars. Holla.
Yeah. $15 is a nice price. And you get it signed, too, if you get it in person.
Come on. Period.
We should we should up that price.
Right. For my signature, I'm famous now. Period. Come on. You got to pay for the
Thank
signature.
yes. But do you want to say anything else?
No, that was it. I just remembered that this is April because you know when it comes to scheduling and when we recording and you be like, oh snap, I remembered in the moment.
Thank you, girl. Thank you
Gotta
for
keep my
remembering.
boom, boom, boom.
Pow. How you like me now? With that being said, thank you for listening to another episode of Love Loud's Truth Carpet Podcast.
Another one. Another one. Yeah.
One more time.
Another one.
All right, one more time, for real.
Another one.
Stay black, y'all.
Stay proud. Another one. We'll be back in y'all ears in 2 weeks
2 weeks. Another one. With another one.
with another one.